We are live from DJ Nasty Studios, systems in place. This is episode number 15. Welcome to our Quinceañera.
Welcome to the Quinceañera.
Oh my God, our 15th episode.
15th episode. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us once more time. I'm your host, DJ. Hey, I got to start adding the J Nasty because there's a lot of DJ Nasties out there. And I just got to show that I'm just, the better one.
You're J Nasty.
And I'm the J Nasty.
The OJ Nasty.
So I've been noticing that in a couple of podcasts that I haven't been pronouncing my name like that. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in once again. All our listeners, thank you guys. Our beautiful other co-host right here.
And of course, V. Hey, guys. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
And I'm Jocelyn Little, and we're introducing this podcast, Systems in Place. We're 15 episodes in. How do you guys feel?
Congratulations, guys.
Amazing. Pretty proud.
Yes.
How many weeks you said we were have been doing this?
So that's 15 weeks.
Well,
yeah. So we're going into
No.
like a little bit of maybe like I think we were like 3 weeks in where we already had met up like a couple like we met up like 2 or 3 times before.
That's commitment right there.
That's a quarter of
16,
a year already.
So that looks good, girls. Yeah. So I mean, how do you guys feel? Like, do you guys feel like we're? Do you guys feel like you guys are we progressing in the right way? Like, how do you guys feel these conversations have been going? I know like that we changed a lot in the aspect of how we're looking and where we're at. Like, like the structure of our podcast. But how do you guys like feel? Like, do you guys feel more comfortable like every day coming in here? Do you guys feel more like, what is it? What do you guys think you guys have grasped from here?
Do you want to go first? Okay, I'll go first. It's cool. Like every time I'm driving here, I like drop off Caleb, and I'm like, oh, like, dang, like another episode. Like, dang, 15 now. It's crazy, kind of, because when I was in a couple other podcasts, I've always just been a guest, So this is like a team effort. I'm one out of 3 parts of Systems in Place / the other side of the portal, and it's cool. I think a lot of things relate to the podcast. Like yesterday I was having a conversation about shrooms, and then today I'm having a conversation about shrooms. So like a lot of things and conversations that I have throughout my life, I feel like, I have on this podcast, and it's kind of cool to just get them on air. I'm a big talker, and I know a lot of people like call me to talk or like hang out with me because they know they can talk to me. So it's kind of cool to come on here and share my experiences and my stories and my opinions and my time with you guys.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
it
awesome.
Is. Thank you. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. For me, I think it's been amazing to see us grow, see us get out of that shell. Speaking for myself, I mean, I know
you've definitely come a long way.
Like, I know you've done your podcast, Nesty. You've been doing this whole thing for how long? It's been cooking in your head.
Yeah,
forever too. So I love it. I actually just watched Fernanda's episode again, and it just put me up to hear that, just because it's just so good to just come together. And it's like she says, it's like the more we just continue doing this, the more we're growing and helping. I know we have a lot of great plans, and I think we're just that tripod. Like we all 3 of us need each other, and there's obviously like Candy in the background, and then we have your brother who hopefully can start joining us soon.
If you're hearing this,
if he's
Christian.
listening, yeah, we're gonna tag him on this episode
because he's pretty cool. So like I just think it's like great that we can commit to something. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's thank you, V. Another cool thing for me, like you said, it's the commitment of being here with you guys and coming in and really setting foot forward, our things that we're talking about, like keeping that in the back of my head and making sure that we progress every time, that we find cool new like things to talk about. What else can we help out with people in businesses? To this past week had like a couple people hit me up like, hey, like where do you get this type of thing, and like how do you make your trademark, your logo, and how do you do your business and stuff like that. So like that's cool. Like it's empowering. Like it makes you feel good to like know that you can help out a little bit in other people's life journey, because it's a journey that we're all going through and that we're gonna be like it's people that we work with together. You know, we see them every day or biweekly, and we see them at coming in from different aspects of life. You know, everybody has their own like passion for their job, and as long as they're doing their passion, they're gonna be able to like strive and be able to like succeed. So it's pretty cool to know that we're keeping going. We're moving forward every day with our podcast and where we are, and you know, more stories. Hopefully, more cool things. So I'm excited.
So in honor of our quinceañera, we're gonna just talk a little bit. If you guys want to share what you were doing when you were 15, or what you would tell yourself at age 15.
30-year-olds I'm going on 30.
I'm already at 30.
You're
28
talking about
this
15 years ago, little. Do you understand this question?
Ni se acuerdas ni qué pasó ayer.
I know.
I can barely guess.
No, but like kind of maybe like what you would tell yourself, like, because 15, that was such a hard age.
Super
15
difficult.
was a hard age. And you know what? Like, I'm watching Mariposa del Barrio right now. And
Everybody's watching it. I'm missing out.
you should, honestly.
What
like,
is that?
Caleb
Is that
is stuck into it. Like,
wow.
we're all in the house watching that shit. Like, well, except we fast forward on the inappropriate parts, you know?
Oh, that's hilarious. You don't make him cover his eyes. Como mi mamá me decía, tápate los ojos, tápate los ojos.
Okay.
¿Y las orejas qué?
Well, she would come from behind with the
I see. Yeah, where do you think he got the name Nasty from?
But you know what?
I was like this.
Growing up, I would watch novelas every day, and back then it was different because you couldn't just Netflix binge that novela. You had to wait till the next day and on the weekend.
You were a hardcore fan.
Yeah, I remember I used to watch so many novelas, and like, you know, I feel like they show, like, as much as they're like questionable, they do show you a lot of things about life that, you know, you're probably gonna come across. And Mariposa del Barrio is very intense.
Is that like
and
Rosa
it's a
de la
trigger.
Guadalupe? Is
No,
that like
it's the Jenny Rivera.
Oh, is that the Jenny version?
The series that they made about her life. It's intense. It starts when she was 15 and she got pregnant and she had an abusive boyfriend, and he was like mentally abusive, physically abusive. Like, he was just a fucking asshole, and it's a lot, and it brings you back. And eventually, like, yeah, he starts abusing her, taking advantage of her, and he ends up like taking advantage of her little sister and even his own kids, and it's just like really intense.
Whoa. Same.
So yeah, it just like brings you back. Like, at the age of 15, you're so vulnerable, you're so easily influenced, and when an older, good-looking guy, or even just a guy that has that
a little bit of money, and
not even money, just like they have that confidence, and they kind of wrap you around. Yeah, they wrap you around their fingers, or you feel protected. Maybe you don't have an older brother or cousins that like, growing up in Escondido was hard. Like,
or just having your first love,
yeah, your first love and first boyfriend, and just feeling like you want that protection,
or it's the one.
Yeah. You know?
I think we were. I remember that was like a whole thing in high school where it was like the one.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I had a very hard time dating because of that, because of the one.
Yeah.
And your high school sweetheart, but I think it's because it's sold to you in that type of like mentality, right?
Novelas,
hello. Like I know, right? No, but I mean, in high school, like like your homecoming and the sweethearts dance and everything. So like,
and the whole
people want to
Valentine
create
thing.
memories and be able to have that one person they went through like in high school with everything and all this stuff. So I mean, that's
the goal when you're in high school.
Yeah.
That's the person you're gonna get married to. That's the person that's gonna have kids with. That's pinches pendejadas.
Oh my god. So one of the few things that you guys feel like you may what would you say to your 15-year-old self?
Leave him. He's not the one.
Okay. What about not in relationship?
Honestly, I think I would just tell myself, like, you're gonna grow up to be exactly who you wanted to be.
Okay.
Like, don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about your friends.
You can lift it up
in a sense, not like don't care about your friends, but eventually, honestly, people go their own way, and I feel like as kids we hold so much value to friendships. And my early 20s, holy fuck, I can't believe I'm saying that, I was around a lot of friends, and I focused a lot of my time and a whole bunch of special days on my friends, and I just tried to be there for my friends when I really should have been with my family. But I see that now, so that's what I would tell myself is just focus on your family, hang out with your family. You have adult family, family is always going to care for you, and that's what I would tell myself personally. Just hang out with your family.
And see, I was told those things like you have no friends, you this, you that, like all those things. My mom told me better, but I am the type of person that I have to learn it myself.
Oh, yeah. And we all do.
We all do. And even like when I'm giving advice to like the younger generation or stuff like that, or family members that I have, they're younger. Like I know they're not going to take me serious. They're still going to do what they're going to do. And it's like, it sucks, but yeah, like if I could talk to my 15-year-old self, I would tell myself that I am going to be exactly what I had in mind. Because when I was 15, I just wanted to, like you said, run, but like get out of the situation. I was just like overall everything. Like I didn't really like the life I was given, but I had to live it. And I knew one day I was going to grow up and be that woman that I wanted to be. I mean, I'm still not that woman I want to be, but I'm close.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely proud at the fact that I didn't go like the other route that I could have.
Gave up.
Yeah. Every day, that's like an everyday choice and battle that we all have to do. But it's pretty cool to like look back and be like, yeah, when I was 15, I actually did want to. I mean, it turned out to be so much better than what I thought, but I did want to come out of the circumstances I was in. I wanted to be better. I wanted to have my own, and I have a Honda. I wanted to have a Honda Civic, and I have a Honda Civic. Interesting. Like things like that.
Nice.
Like I would walk home and I would always see the Honda Civics. I'm like, yeah, I want one of those Honda Civics.
Aww.
And I have Honda Civic. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with myself. I wish I could be like, bitch, leave that stupid boy alone. But
at least
focus on school
for the time. Yeah, and I think that's another thing too. I would tell myself to participate more in high school. I never participated I didn't go to any dance. I went to.
Oh wait, like that? Oh, I thought you meant like in classes
in
or
class
stuff like that.
Too, like
you didn't
just
go to any dances?
No, I only went to prom. Yeah, I was just
what about
me valía madre todo lo que tenía que ver de la escuela.
Even like the games and stuff like that?
I never see, I went to 4 different high schools, 5 if you count my homeschool charter school.
Geez.
So I
That's
didn't
hard.
I think I might have gone to a couple games in Temecula. I think I did go to a couple games, but I don't know, I never felt like I belonged in high school. I don't know, it was weird. I just did not want to be there. I wanted to get my shit and get out. And that's why I enjoyed my time at Valley, because the teachers really cared about you, and everyone else was just on some other shit. So good and bad. But I would tell myself to participate more in school. I always thought it'd be kind of cool to do cheerleading or something like that, like play a sport, whatever. I would just try a little bit harder to be involved in school and with my family, and not be out in la calle so much.
So you would be more callejera?
I was a callejera, dude. Like from the time I was 14 till I was 27.
That's a pretty good experience though, because right now that you said that, like I guess I was involved in school, because I was in dance, and then I worked in the office as an aide in 2 different places, at the front office and at the attendance thing. And I would be teacher's helper.
That's why you would ditch, huh?
You know it. Exactly why.
We found that way. She knew the code.
Well,
and I would help people too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's so horrible, but I would.
Hey, at least you weren't selfish about it. You should have.
I should have charged.
See, she would go back and charge all you.
That's when people start hating and shit. That's when people start hating. And then
low key, that's when they snitch.
Then that's when they snitch and shit. So you gotta be careful sometimes.
That's true. Thanks, man.
With little things like that, especially in school.
Oh my god, yeah. I think by the time I was 17 or 16, 17, that's when I stopped being so much out in the street because I was like so close not graduating. I had to take like classes at Esco. I had to take classes at OG. I had to take extra classes at Valley. Like I was just booked my whole senior year with classes.
Me too.
Is that insane how we
Then
ended
they
up
had that.
doing
But
that shit?
You
Like,
still
that
ended
was
up doing
so
it.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You could have
No,
just enjoyed
I
senior
just-
year.
I graduated with 3 extra credits.
That's good. I didn't graduate. So
You didn't graduate?
No.
You didn't
I
graduate?
walked out. I took off.
Wait, how come I'm barely finding this out? Really?
Yeah,
When did you
I-
walk out?
I just,
Or what
I just
year?
left. I just turned 18, and then I was just like, nah, I don't
What
have to
year?
come to school anymore. And that was 2019.
No, I mean,
Or
like,
no,
what,
2019.
senior or
Ya,
junior?
ya quisieras,
Ya
güey.
quisiera, ya quisiera. Class of 2009 or 2010.
No, but what, senior or junior year?
No, senior year. Well, I turned.
And you didn't?
No, and I didn't have any credit. I didn't even have enough credits and shit. So I was just like, might as well just dip out. And it's funny because my mom was telling me the story the other day, right? Check out this. This is funny. She was like, and I was like, dijo, oh, sí, cabrón, ¿no vas a ir a la escuela? Entonces she was like, porque me estaban llame, que por qué no vienes a la escuela? Why aren't
They
you in
needed
school?
their money.
They needed their money. And why aren't you coming to school? Dice, hasta que no me enfadaron, dice que te llevé, y ya fuiste tú y le dije, mira, aquí está. Tú diles a ellos que tú no quieres venir a la escuela. And I was like, damn, I forgot about that story. I was
And
like,
it's true?
And it is true. Like, I mean, I was like, because I was going to like like towards my senior year, they were like, well, you know, you're not gonna graduate on time, whatever. You te faltan credits, but you know, there's this new course that we're gonna put you in, and it's like half day, and you have to just take a bunch of tests and make sure you pass all the tests and shit like that. And
Was
you
this
research
at
all the
OG?
stuff. Yeah, and you research all the stuff.
It was like the learning center.
Yeah, the learning center.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. But no, pues después we would go fucking after the learning center, we would go to the park and smoke and chill and hang out. So like there was nothing that I was not even interested in school, you know. And my mom's like, no, pues me siguen chingando a mí. Si me siguen chingando a mí, entonces yo te voy a llevar para allá. So I went, and she was like, yeah, y nomás, sí, te convencieron a quedarte una semana más, y ya después de la semana ya no regresaste.
Translation, they convinced him to be there, and then a week later he just stopped going.
I just stopped going. I was like, because I didn't see anything. Like, I didn't see anything that I was gonna, you know, like, to be like, oh, I'm gonna turn my life around right now in this instant, and I'm gonna fucking study and work hard. And it's like, I would try, like, you know how many times I would try, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fucking boom, I'm gonna poner a estudiar. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna be that better person for my school and go to college or whatever. Nunca me, like,
so
se me
did you
olvidaba.
ever go back and get it? Or
No,
you
I tried to
just-
get my GED too, and I never.
Did you? You never did? Hey, you know what? I actually do like hearing that though,
And
because
it's insane.
hey,
I
at
mean,
least
I like it. I mean, I don't feel like I've missed it. Like, I don't think I mean, I haven't found anything
it's
that
definitely not
has stopped
something-
me and said like, hey, this is why you haven't, you know, we can't take you in because you don't have a GED and stuff like that. And
You
everywhere
don't
that
even have to
and
fucking.
everywhere
They're
that I
never gonna
applied-
ask you for
and everywhere
one.
that I applied, like,
but
they've
the
never
thing of it
asked
is
me for
that
one. Or
they
like,
would. At the like back in the day,
Like,
they
is it in
would
your
have it
social
on an
security?
applications and stuff, and they
They
still
still have
do.
it,
but
but-
it's just like para ponerle como con miedo, or like kind of like just fear
They're not
you.
gonna
and stuff.
look it
They're
up.
not gonna look it
But
up.
I mean, for me, it's like, dude, my
And
school
where do
years
you
was
look
just,
that up?
they're shit.
Yeah,
so.
Like,
exactly.
come on.
You're gonna call this.
I was
your
already
store-
partying and DJing and like making money on the
That's what I'm
side, so I
saying,
was
like,
just like, whatever.
that's
you know, I was
just
like, this
proof
is
right
just,
there that you don't
know,
really need it.
I
Like,
mean,
and that
in
you
all
can become an
honesty,
entrepreneur.
yeah, in all honesty, I don't
They're like,
remember a
George, you're
lick of
throwing your
anything.
life away.
from
They're like,
school.
you're really gonna do this. Like, to be honest, like we're going back to the 15. You know, like, what would we tell? Like, I think I would just stop doubting myself. Like, one of the biggest things was just doubt, because it was just like I have had it all in my hands like this whole time, of to do whatever I please and whatever I want to do. But I've always gone to what people always go like, hey, like, you know, don't do this or don't do that, or what are people gonna say and what's gonna. So like, I think one of the things that I would say, go back to my 15 person, is just be like, just fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, you have the vision, you have the stuff, like, just do it. Just start it out right now, because you're never gonna get that time back.
imagine if that would have been your vision and your plan at 15. Be like, I'm gonna start DJing on the side and making money.
Yeah.
It's
And
worked for
that's
how
practically,
long?
Yeah, it's practically, yeah.
Like,
and
wow.
then everybody was always like, no, you're not gonna DJ for when, forever. And I was like, I guess
Yeah.
until I can no more.
My
but-
passion.
And then they were just like, okay, well then, good job. We'll throw your life away. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, everybody's always partying right now, and there is this time when we went into like partying and hanging out and doing all this stuff, and like you don't regret it, but you kind of do regret it because we haven't thought about like if imagine if then those times that we would have been partying and hanging out, we would have been investing our money or say starting to our entrepreneurship, our businesses even that much earlier.
I
and
spent
starting
a
to
lot
do-
of money on alcohol.
and all that money that we spent on the
Food.
clubs and good times and everything. But like you said, I can't even remember what I did yesterday. So like, how am I gonna remember 15 years ago or like 10 years ago or those times that we had and we partied and da da da? Like blackout drunk. Like, how do you remember that?
Team blackout.
Team blackout.
ayy.
So, like, so if you could go back to your 15-year-old self, a lot of us, we say like, oh yeah, I wouldn't change anything because I am the person who I am now. But like, there should be little things like that we should maybe just
But
change. and
damn,
be
we
like,
could have
hey,
had a head
but
start.
damn, we could have had a head start, And this is what this podcast is about. It's about like, the people that are going to be listening to it in the future, they're going to be like maybe 20 years old, maybe 21 years old. And they'll be like, damn, those people, yeah, they did have a cool ass life and they have fun. But look at where they're catching up to now. So now for me, it's like if I would have thought about putting money away a long time ago into like an investment account, like an IRA or a Roth, or like if I would have like, we've always heard that, like it's always been thrown at us like, hey, like invest your money, throw it in a Roth IRA or do this, like put it in the market. And you're always like, what the hell? But, like not asking questions or like for me, it's like one of the things I too is like, I feel like I'm just dumb. And I just like when I ask questions. So like I've never like, oh, like, wait, what? Explain it. Because I don't want to feel dumb. Right. So then it kind of like lacks you from like understanding and learning things the full way and your full potential way. So what I would do is, just put it in like, all that money that we wasted that didn't go in. We already, we would have like at least like $20,000 in the bank account.
Minimum.
And the,
Minimum.
30,000,
Exactly.
40,000, just putting in little monies away. So, and that's what we should like start thinking about because now, Social Security and all that stuff is going to run out. When we get into Social Security, we're not even going to be able to afford. But still, at the end of the day, you can't even live off of Social Security, what you're being given. All this
Nope.
money that you
True.
put into it, you get taxed the shit out of it. Like, once you want to take that money out, then you get taxed again. So what you have to be doing right now is like, especially us as business owners and like people that are starting up our own little business, we have to be able to put that money away and be like, hey, it's going to be into a Roth IRA or a SEP. I think a SEP is like like one of them is like you tax before, you pay your taxes like when you put your money in. And then the other one is like you pay your taxes when you want to take out the money. So what you want to do is be able to pay your taxes right now. So when you take out your money later on, when you're 58,
It's ready to
60
go.
years old, you're ready to go and you're able to take out all that money. And you're able to also, I heard this today, was that if you have one of those IRAs, you're able to take out a loan from there and be able to put down that for your house payment. And you don't get a tax penalty or anything like that. So it's like good to have like money right there on the side and being put away and be able to, from when we do, retire when we're 50, that could be like easy, like $1 million right there with us just putting money away each year. And I think the maximum that you can put in is like $5,500 a year that it lets you put in. So thinking about that, like imagine when we were 15 years old. What about if we do that for Ezekiel right now? What if we do that for, your son right now? What if we do that for Jaslyn right now? And then we'll be like, man, we're going to be able to have them set up and have them ready for when they turn 18. They're like financially free and they already have like money to do whatever they want. No matter if it's going to school, no matter if it's starting their own business venture, if it's investing their own money, and that's where that's going to be able to go. And it's going to be money that we've just been putting away slowly but surely.
Yeah, I have that for Caleb.
Me too. For
What is it?
Ezekiel.
Oh, that's, see, so that's
Well, I don't know if we have the same thing, but I have
No,
like
yeah.
a savings for him.
okay.
Yeah.
But is it in the money, like in the market, or is
Yeah.
it just in savings?
It's
Mine's just savings.
it's
Okay.
it's
So-
tied to his
So
life
savings,
insurance.
you don't build compound
Grow it.
interest. So there's nothing. But if you put it out into the market, and that's what I was listening, like they you can go to like a broker where they put in like your money into like different places in the market where it's not just
It's
all your money is
secured,
going
though.
in, yeah, it's not all going into one lump sum of a place, and it's going to be able to be divided and stuff like that. So it's going to be like maybe in like stocks, and then some of them is in electricity, some of them is like in like food industry, some of them is like, so like when your money, when like if the market, like the housing market crashes, like not all your money goes away, like, you know, a little bit, you get a little bit of fall, and then like there's maybe in another aspect your money might go up. So it's just like things like that, that each year your money's going to be growing, compound interest, growing, and then you're putting your money in, so it's even growing even more. And it doesn't mean that you're not messing around, you're not gambling with it like it is, because there's a 7 point something percentage each year that it grows. Like it's a mandatory thing that's going to grow. So I mean, that's my next move right there, to be able to open up a little RIA and for Jaslyn and for me, and then, you know, just be able to have like a family one too, because I think right now through my work I get one, but you know,
Yeah, you want to have one on your own though, in case you.
Yeah, because I mean, the
freedom.
taxes are not going to be able to save us when we're
And when you have an
60 years
IRA, I don't think it's taxed, right? You don't have to. You
Yeah, like a
report it
SEP
to your
IRA.
taxes, but it's not considered like an asset. It's because I've done my taxes and I've put it in there, and it doesn't, like, they send me a letter every year with like my life insurance and like how much money I've put into the account, but it doesn't affect it. They just want to know.
Oh, I think it's a Roth IRA. Roth.
Mm-hmm.
The Roth IRA, I think that's the one that lets you. So you can open a Roth IRA at any age, as long as you have earned income. You can't contribute more than your earned income. Roth IRAs aren't subject to require minimum distribution IRA.
But yeah, save your money, put it in the market. I saw a lot of people started investing. The most randomest people be posting stocks now, and I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool.
You're like, oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Everybody's so smart now. You're investing into. So I downloaded this app called, and you guys should download it, so I can get $10, and then you can get $10. So I'll send you the link, and you can invest. So Coinbase. So Coinbase is so you can invest in cryptocurrency, like crypto coin, like Bitcoin. And then there's like the Dogecoin now. So is it trippy, right? Because we talk about money here. Money is about, we all believe into this money, right? And we all believe in the dollar because supposedly it's backed by gold, and gold is and we all believe into the system. So that's pretty much what's going on right now, is that all these currencies are coming up and people are just believing into it. And if you believe into something, then that means it's real, right? So what's going on right now is the Bitcoin is like going up in price, and it's like,
it's crazy.
you know, and Elon Musk, you know, just bought like $1 billion something worth of like, you know, Bitcoin and stuff like that. So like he's making like the price skyrocket and like worth more, and then like one day he can pull out money or whatever, or he can like say something and like that market can go down. So it's insane. So it's just kind of just showing us that this market can be fluctuated and we can control it. So it's like the more, you know, people that we have behind each other, the more people that we know that we can communicate to each other. You know,
Wall
like,
Street over here.
you know, we can be doing like we can be moving our own like companies. Like if we like say like we all invest into the same company, then we're gonna be like, hey, so now let's start all buying at this rate right here. Bam, bam, bam. So if we have, everybody has $1,000, and then we get like 50 people with $1,000, and we all put in, you know, $1,000 to that company.
And then we go to the moon.
And then that place starts skyrocketing. So people start seeing a fluctuation, right? But the thing is that people see like a little spike, right? So they see a spike and they're like, oh shit, that stock's going up. So then people like that are not in your circle, they're like, oh shit, let's put in but no, let's put in money, let's put in money because it's about to go up. So they drive the price up. And then if people like don't believe in it, then they start selling. And if you start selling your stocks of it, that's how the companies go. They leave.
And that's the stock market, my friends.
I think so.
And I'm not a big fan of it. My cousin recently hit me up. He said he was going to call me this week. And he's really big in the stock market. Yes. Like all he does is
tell him to come in then. Hell yeah. Let's do it.
I thought about it. I was like,
Let's
okay, but I want to see what he has to say. Because I'm like, He's trying to sell me
fact-checker.
Herbalife, lo mandar a la chingada. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. He's really into
He's like, you
stocks.
invest in the
No, he's like
stocks
hardcore
and
into
Amway.
stocks, and all the stuff that he buys is all brand expensive BS.
I know.
shit.
It's
He likes that stuff, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. But like, he maintains his lifestyle, his mom's and his sister's expensive lifestyle based on stocks.
Oh yeah, it's like
And that's cool.
it's like if
it works, if it works, it works.
if you like to wear like Gucci and Dolce & Gabbana, why not put your money into those stocks and then have that company later on pay you for that for you rocking it. You know what I mean? You own a piece of that company. And there's some companies that do allow you to buy it, and there's some people that are selling in the market, and some companies that are not. So it just depends. I think when they need money and they need resources, then they put like a share of their company so people can own them. And then that's how you're able to buy like those little pieces of their company. So that means that there's going to be growth, and there's going to be like, room for, like more money to be made.
Yeah,
so that's how it
like
is.
Jay-Z just sold 50% of his
No way.
I think it was, well, because you know how he made Ace of Spades. He made Ace of Spades,
right?
because in the 90s, early 2000s, the champagne companies weren't really like fucking with rappers. How rappers would rap about Cristal, popping champagne bottles. So they never really supported hip hop. So what did Jay-Z do? He went and made his own champagne brand, and like he went to Champagne, France, and he bought a chateau where he owns the soil, he owns the grapes, he owns everything to make champagne. And it's like worth millions of dollars now, and he just sold 50% of the company to Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, VSOP.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
So that's like the creme of la creme of alcohol, and he went and sold 50% of his company to them.
Yeah, so but that 50% he has, it's gonna boom.
Oh yeah,
and
that's major for the black community and
who's LVM? Who's that?
And hip hop.
Hold on, let me see.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton buys 50% of Ace of Spades champagne brand from Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much it's sold.
Moet Hennessy.
Wine Spirits division have purchased 50% stakes in the rapper's Jay-Z luxurious champagne brand Armand de Brignac.
Something.
How do you spell that? Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. I wanted to see how much.
And they announced it in Zoom.
Wow. Zoom video call with.
They literally just announced it yesterday or this morning. Yeah, earlier this week. Yeah.
Took initial 50% stake in Amanda.
Yeah, so that's pretty dope. I mean,
great job.
They're gonna make they're gonna be legends in this lifetime.
One of the more expensive champagne brands in the world, with a bottle costing between $365,000.
Yeah, Ace of
30 liter mids.
The bottles, they're crazy looking. They're nice bottles. I have videos of me at the club chugging Ace of Spades. Fucking club rat.
I didn't even buy this bottle.
Yeah, it's very expensive champagne, but it just goes to show the champagne companies weren't fucking with hip hop and rappers, and these rappers would mention these champagnes in their raps and songs and stuff, and they wanted no part in hip hop. And so Jay-Z saw an opportunity and made a business out of it, and now he's in business with them.
Well, trust me, a lot of black owned people. Companies are being brought up, and they're being remade and stuff like that. So it's like, if you don't want to fuck with us because you don't think that we're good enough, and now we're gonna make our own brand. And black culture is it's a movement.
Everything.
It's a movement.
It's in everything.
Every single thing that we do, everything.
It's
the clothes that we wear, the
how we
things
talk,
that we watch, how we talk, the cars that we buy. It's a totally it's on their taste. If you really think about it, the rap videos, the cars, how we grew up, the money, the stacks, and that's the
influence that the black community has on the world is
and for
intense.
longest of time, it's just been oh, we're just gonna take this from you, and then we don't want your fucking face. You know what I mean? So it's just it's always been like that, where this this repression
we
of
want your culture,
but we don't want your face.
But they want black culture, but they don't want to be black.
Yeah. So it's
this whole thing with Jay-Z is basically a good example of like people closing doors on you and you coming back and like
Going back
buying
100.
the freaking building. He has the whole soil,
Yeah.
everything. It's like, wow, I'm speechless. That's some kind of moves I'm trying to do.
For real.
Yeah, we got to start thinking about our Latino community and like
Well,
start thinking about like how
But
we
that's
can
the thing that's
like,
hard on
make,
Latinos.
make that impact,
That
you know what I
vision,
mean?
because
Like,
I feel like
you know-
Latinos and Chinos, they don't. We don't help our brothers and
you know
sisters.
what? Yeah, and you know one of the things that I wanted to do is one of that thing that came to my mind the other day, and I'm gonna write it down. I gotta think about that. Like a guidance of how to make it here in the United States. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of immigrants are coming in. They're gonna be coming in, and then it'd be like you don't like how to assimilate and not be a burden in the streets.
I
You know what I
think-
mean?
I
So
think
like,
that's-
so coming in with the mentality of like, la mentalidad es una mentalidad que we come in with. You know that it's like everything is here is for us and it's handed out for us. And right now, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person coming into the United States if you get that granted that permission, or if you're here illegally. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that person that's on the street asking for money, because that's not how you make money. And that's, you just mean that you're a burden for other people. Other people walk around and they see you and you're a burden. So you want to be able to come in with this mentality, this set mentality of our Latinos, of being like, hey, like lift them up and be like, hey, amigos, ustedes vienen aquí a trabajar, venimos a hacer dinero. Like this is like the mentality that you have to grow and think about, you know, and see where your money is going to be going, and start showing these people to lift up this country and not bring it down. Because I think that's the way that people look at immigrants. People look at immigrants as like a burden everywhere around the world. Everywhere you go, look, if you like see in Libya or Syria and like all these, like in the Mediterranean Sea, you know, like how many people and immigrants have died, like just crossing that fucking, like if you think like the border right here is one thing, like it's something that we can see, we're right next door, but in the Mediterranean Sea, like there's people, immigrants crossing that sea, and they ask for help, and none of the boats and none of the lifeguards around, they can't respond to it because they're like they're illegals. So like, you know, like if they're drowning, if they're like dying or whatever, it's like there's storms and shit, like they're stranded and nobody can help them out. Nobody can send a boat out there because it's illegal to help out immigrants. So they're stuck and they're gonna die right there.
Yeah.
They're dying of thirst, dying of hunger, and they're just stuck, stranded. Some boat went to go push them out or go like bring them in, and y luego al último, en lugar de llevarlos to like where they were trying to go, they send them back to their town.
Yeah,
and in
los
their town,
matan.
yeah, y los matan. Like it's repercussion because they're trying to leave illegally. You can't fucking leave those countries because you're
That's
leaving.
like
You're leaving
North
your
Korea.
people, or like shit like that. So like, when you come back, now you got to go and you got to hide, because now you try to leave, and now the people in the gang members and the people in these towns, they're gonna fucking kill you because you're trying to leave.
Yeah, that's so crazy
So-
that you say that, because I was in TJ yesterday, and apparently there was like a group of Central Americans trying to cross, and that's why they had closed down
border?
not the sentry, but you know how there's like this little like bus that you can take, and you like cut the line
Yeah.
to go walking. You pay them $10 and you can cut the line, and it takes you to the front of the line. Well, we were gonna cross back, dude. Yo venía con una pinche escoba. I bought a broom because se me hizo fácil. I'm just gonna cross with my escoba, you know, because usually it's like 10 minutes. And if anything, I was gonna pay the $10 to cut
And
the
if
fucking
anything,
line.
she's gonna fly over.
Tell me why? Yes. If anything,
I wish.
who said there was a no fly to Mexico? Ya me vieran like crossing the border, el pinche cerro en with my broom. So then we get in the taxi cab, right? And he was like, oh, like, ahorita está bien larga la cola, es como de 5 o 6 horas, this and that. I was like, okay, well, llévenos a ver qué larga está la cola, like, take us to see how long it is, and if not, take us to the little buses, and we'll just pay. So we go, and, like, usually where they drop us off, like, if it's there, like, the líneas, like, if it's that long, it's like, oh, shit, that's long. But this time, it, like, was all the way down, and it came around, like, around the corner. Like, it was a lot of people. I've never seen that many people trying to cross.
Sheesh.
And so he took us to the little buses, and they're like, oh, no, like, we're not doing, it's closed right now. Like, we're out of business right now because the Central Americans were trying to cross. And so we're like, oh, fuck. So the guy took us to Otay. So I'm like in La Línea with my fucking broom. And we only were there for like 30-40 minutes, but I was just like, dang, like I wonder what happened. We didn't hear about this in the news, like of anyone trying to rush the border this time. Usually when stuff like that happens,
That's crazy.
like they tell us.
They're doing that now. They're doing that. They used to do that back in the day before, like, there's big walls and stuff like that, and before a lot of immigration. Like, I saw that I don't think it was on the paper, maybe in the Escondido paper, where people would just rush the border. So like, like un chingo that, like, there wouldn't be enough agents. So they would grab like a group of like 30, 40 people, and they would just fucking rush through. And then whoever got through, they were just home free, and they just try to get lost in the crowd.
So apparently they try to do that this time, and yeah, so we had to go through Otay, and like my fucking taxi cab was like $30, and I was like,
fuck.
fuck.
Is Otay from?
It's like 15 minutes
From Tijuana to Otay?
Yeah. But it's it's like 20 minutes.
Okay.
But he had like picked us up and like drove us to the border, and then he had to drive us to the other border. And I think he like ripped us off, but I was like, you know what, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to get home.
Yeah.
I had my fucking escoba and everything, and then the border agent was like, "What's with the broom?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, you guys have a no-fly zone, so I gotta walk through,
yeah, I
bitches.
was like, well, I just thought I should fly over. Yeah, like they just kept staring at me. Like 3 of them made comments, and I even tried to put it through the thing that X-rays it, and the guy just took it out, and he like pulled it to the side
don't do this
and
shit.
gave it to me, like through the other side. It was so embarrassing.
They were probably like, "This is the first girl we
Bitch,
see with the fuck."
Okay, so my car was in San Isidro. I was in Otay, so I had to walk to fucking the IHOP, and we waited for our Uber like 20 minutes. I'm like chilling with the fucking broom the whole time. I'm telling my brother's girlfriend, I'm like, this was like the worst purchase of the day. I hopped in the Uber with my broom and everything.
They're like, what, you got a flat on your broom or what?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Did you get a picture? I would have loved to see you.
No, I didn't, but some guys were rapping, and they were like, "Está con su escoba," or something like that.
Oh, hell no.
Then he took it from me and he was rapping with it. Oh, we're here, look.
Hell no.
Oh,
That's
didn't
so
come
funny.
up.
No, hombre. She wasn't lying about the broom, eh?
Nah, I told you.
I think the broom was taller than you.
Yeah,
Down, girl.
they were dope though.
Yeah,
I tipped them $1. I was like, hell yeah, and they were dope.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah. So that was a crazy TJ trip. I don't know what compelled me. I was gonna buy a fucking mop too. Thank God I didn't.
God.
Yeah. So I got home and I was like, look, honey, look at what I got you.
Es que las escobas de allá sí están más chingonas.
Yeah.
Están más chingonas.
Yeah.
Pero no mames. Esa sí te va a durar, güey. Esa sí te va a durar.
Me va a dar ganas de barrer.
Ponte a barrer ya que te
It
tomó tanto
blessed you all
pinche
the way
tiempo.
from TJ all day.
That shit was on a mission to get to my house. That shit was a mission. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, so what's good in the hood or what's not good in the hood? Update on the 13-year-old that tragically hit those 2 men in the bushes on Ash and Mission. She's not white. She's
Mexican.
A disgrace for the Mexicans.
she's a troubled teenager. I will say that.
Troubled teenager. Is that?
We found her Instagram. Someone shared
Were we
their
troubled?
Instagram with us. It's just really sad. I feel bad for all the parties involved. It's a tragedy, and I really hope justice is served. And I don't hope that they make an example out of her. But I really do hope she gets some sort of repercussions for what she did. Yeah, it's really sad. I don't really know what to say. We saw the video, the doorbell video from the people that lived across the street, and I don't know. I don't know. I just can't help but question, who's in charge of, who's taking responsibility for her care. Someone mentioned that she had tattoos. She's 13 years old. She's drinking and she's partying and driving her. Was she like under the influence? Like, what was going on?
I don't think so. They would have taken her to jail. I think that would have been even a harsher.
But she's still
if
the minor, though.
Yeah, so she's still minor. So really, technically speaking,
no. And they would have said under the influence. Exactly. They would have said
it took a long time. Like the other one that we had of that girl that hit that family in Mexico, they let her go and she was under the influence. Mm-hmm. And it only took the community to stand up and ask for justice until that happened. And how long after that? So, you're talking of a minor, you're talking of parents now saying, oh, we didn't know she took the car. How do you
do you not see your kid's Instagram?
You don't see the tattoos, the attitude, the drinking.
I don't know. I would take my parents' car pretty late.
You would?
Like,
at 13, though?
It was 15, 16.
Yeah,
I mean,
but at least,
But, okay, so one of the things that I
think maybe we should speak of experience and can relate that we've been in similar situations.
Check this
out. This is like an opportunity to talk to your kids. It's an opportunity to, let them know that if they need a ride somewhere, you can take them. Like, don't be that parent, watching Mariposa del Barrio. Don't be that parent that your kids can't talk to. Like, this girl Mariposa del Barrio hid her abuse for 10 plus years. And it's like, what if she did some dumb shit and stole her parents' car and accidentally, maybe what if she was being abused? What is going on with this kid that compelled her to steal her parents' car?
Yeah.
And fucking drive to Escondido from Vista. And, a really bad thing happened.
Fun shit. FOMO.
And one of the people that passed on was 33 years old. I'm 30. That's 3 years away. Like, that's young. Mm-hmm. I don't recall the age of the other one. I believe it was 56, but 33, 56, or even 100. Like, how do we not make justice for that?
I think one of the that we have to instill into our kids, and that was like kind of brought into me when I was younger, and no matter when, anytime that I was in trouble, and anytime that happened that I got caught, it was always assume to the responsibility. Mm-hmm. You made a choice, you did what you did, and now the responsibilities and the consequences have to come. The assuming responsibility would have been when that cop pulled her over and she's like, fuck, party's over, it's done right here.
Oh my god.
That's when, and that's the things that I would think about when I was taking my parents' car, when I was 15, 16, out here doing that shit. It's like, you think about like the consequences. Like, you leave knowing like, if I get pulled over, I'm fucked, and that's it. You know what I mean? So it's either, like, are you gonna go and risk other people's lives, and you're gonna fucking take off running, and you're gonna fucking be able, and you're gonna cause something even worse, or are you just gonna assume the responsibilities right there, and just take it like it is? You wanted to be act up and do this type of person, then that's what it comes. And that's the same thing with anything else that you have to do with, in anything in life, assuming responsibilities. Because anytime that I don't assume the responsibilities, people look at me like, what? Like, this guy's an idiot, But when you assume responsibilities, people look at you and they admire you and they know that, okay, good. Then it knows that you're going to learn from it. Or what have you learned? This is what I've learned from, drinking and driving, from taking my parents' car, from, like, acting up in class, like all this type of shit that I've done throughout my life. Like, I know that I've done it myself, and I know that I am responsible for those things, and I'm the only one that's responsible for that. I choose the way that I act out, and I choose the way that I am. So, it's unfortunate that these girls, took those cars and stuff like that. But, it's part of being a teenager. I think it's part of like our just, teenage years. If you remember, like you said, we're back 15. Like, we were fucking We thought the world was never going to catch up to us. We thought nobody could fucking stop us. We thought,
Yeah, but I was afraid. I would have never.
And that's everybody,
That's
like,
level.
and you start dipping your toes into little things. So like one day maybe you drive your mom's car to the grocery store. Maybe the next day you take it from the stop sign here to there. And that's how you start. Your mom that you like, oh, here, you practice right here, practice right here. So 15 years old, you're barely starting to learn. 13 years old, you're almost there. You're gonna start getting your permit. So like, like you said, who knows this lifestyle or whatever she lived, but there's times when our parents would be like, oh yeah, here, take the road,
Low key. My mom used to let my boyfriend drive her brand new Armada to school, and she was okay with it. She would let him drive us.
I had a homeboy that had a
drive
fucking
us
brand
to
new
school.
Chrysler when he was like 15, like, right?
And we were 16.
Yeah, he
we
would fucking drive
no
it.
license
That's
in the
true. I had
car.
a girlfriend who had a car too at 15.
Yeah.
But it's just responsibility. Like,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
know when
you're
you're
right.
fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
when
you know
you're
what?
fucked, and that's it.
My brother who's 16 or 15 or 16, he just passed his
license.
permit. I
Oh,
don't know,
his
whatever
permit.
age you have to
You
be.
can get your license at 16. I think you just have to do.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
and he
school.
does, and he has to pay or something
Driving
like that.
school, and then you just gotta
But
get a special
I was just
insurance
tripping
and
out.
all
I
that
was
stuff.
like,
I mean,
"What, my bro?" Like, and I even told him, "Oh, well, you're so privileged to have that. Make sure to not fuck it up." And he didn't even write back because, like,
Yeah.
I think he was just like, "Oh," like he expected me to be like,
Like,
"Oh my god!" No, it was
Yeah.
just like, "That's a privilege, homie."
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And you better fucking know that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's not even a 4.0. He's a 4.2
Oh.
student. So he's smart as fuck.
Yeah.
He's in high school and he's taking college courses.
Good for
So
him.
he knows better, but at the same time,
He could be easily influenced.
gracias.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's the thing. It is that,
Especially if you've always been a
Yeah.
good boy.
and that's a lot of the things, like in my life, it was influenced by, I don't want to say also
that one person.
also saying, take responsibility for your
Of
own action.
course, of
But
course.
there's always been people in my life that, oh, see, tómale, oh, see, do this, oh yeah, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
and that's part of the hype. You're like, you don't want to let people down. You want to be the party of the scene. You want
You're
to
the
You
cool
want to
one.
fit in.
you want to fit in, be the cool one. So I mean, like but and it's cool. Do what you got to do to fit in. Do what you got to do you, and stays true to yourself. But remember those consequences that you are gonna have to face.
Yeah.
Once you get caught up in doing the things that you do. Because everything luck runs out. Everything has a little thing. You push it, and there's just gonna be times. I know I've done so many things, and I understand. And when it comes down to like the times when I'm like, fuck, I got caught this time. Like, but damn, like I can imagine all the other times when I would have been, and I was worse, and I was like, fuck, like, gracias a Dios que I was caught on this time.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck, like it does put you into that perspective of like learning and understanding and knowing where you're at and where you stand. So, advice to other people that, that are going to probably listen and just the younger cats, take responsibility. Let's take responsibility for your actions. And if you're grown enough to fucking drive that car, you're grown enough to take responsibility of what's coming to you.
Including jail.
And don't fucking speed off. And I was talking to you guys in the
this
messenger.
should be the perfect example.
Yeah, in the messenger, like I was telling you guys, I think like social media, Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
it does it. I've seen like
Yeah.
it's been like a thing where like I see live videos of car chases, of motorcycle chases. So it's like I feel like the media is kind of like egging it on, like, oh, if you're fucking, who's gonna get away? Who's gonna be the next one to get away? So I
And
don't
that
think
no one ever gets away.
Yeah, like at
Nobody's
first
ever
when
gonna
you
say-
said
No, the
that,
guy-
I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
no, and then I started
But
thinking,
still,
it's
people
like,
like,
it's
but
true.
still, it's an adrenaline rush. It's
Yeah.
like something that you're fucking going through. You
It's
have
like
all
your-
the eyes
your
on you.
15 minutes
all
of fame.
Yeah, you have all those eyes on you and everything. So it's just like, what happens? Well, we had that other girl too. Like a year ago too, there was a girl that was driving around with her phone on around here in Escondido that was getting chased.
Oh
You
yeah, there
remember?
were some.
And
there
she
were
was
some
doing a live, and
teenagers.
she was doing a
Yeah.
live. Remember?
And it was a slow chase. No.
I don't know if
It
it was
was
a
like
slow
from
chase.
San Marcos
yeah, it was like
to
all around
Escondido,
here. So,
and it was
and the
all
the
around
cops were
town.
following them and shit, and she was on live, and
live,
shit,
like, talking
so,
shit on
yeah,
live.
talking shit, like, and she was like, and she
Yeah.
got arrested. And so, like all these kids I don't know, like a
Oh
couple kids in the
my.
car. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
it's
my.
normalizing these things of like, oh my god,
It's-
the
yeah,
cop.
people-
It's so the adrenaline, and you get scared and shit like that. So
Look at all the
I mean,
followers. All
Well,
this. Yeah.
like
I don't know.
perfect example,
Damn.
that shooting that happened yesterday. I'm sure you guys heard of it. I think we talked about it. Well, I'll start off by like describing my day and how it affected me.
Okay.
I was leaving in TJ. I was running late, like always. I had to go to my mom's to pick up my brother's girlfriend because she came with me. So I'm like getting on the 15 South to get on the 78 East, and it's blocked off. And like right as soon as I was leaving my house, I saw like a thick like smoke, like black smoke, and I was like, oh shit, like what is that? I just noticed it right away. Then when I got on the freeway, there was an accident that had the freeway like stopped. There was a semi, like a small semi that was on fire. There was like 5 firefighter trucks, and I never see 5. I always see 1 or 2
On the 15?
on the 15.
I know. I've 45 minutes to get on that fucking 15 from here down the
So
street. Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, like that's what's holding up traffic. So I couldn't get on the 78. So I had to get off on Nordal. I had to go west on the 78. I got off on Nordal. I went the back way to right here, Rock Springs. And then I saw that it was closed off on Morning View in Lincoln. So I was like, oh shit, like what is going on? It like there's an accident over here, and then it's closed off over here. So I go on Mission, and then I'm passing the Jack in the Box by the Carl's Jr. and I see SWAT. Like it was a cop car, but they had SWAT, and they were just like guns pointed like at that little the gutter that's right there between the motel.
He was. Oh.
And so they had all that area closed off, and then I was at the light, and then I see like 3 cop cars just like hauling ass, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There's cars from like street light to street light. And so finally I get home, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take Ash and go the back way towards the mall. And then as soon as I was over by El Dorado and Ash, which is like by where my aunt lives, by that house, the like 17th and stuff, it was like just like traffic stop on Bear Valley Parkway. So I was like, fuck that. So I went down El Dorado, and I went on Center City, and I got the freeway there, and that was like the easiest way to get on the freeway. And then so I had made a video, I posted about it, and then people were like hitting me up, and then it was on the radio. It wasn't like about the shooting, it was just about the accident. And then like once I got there, I like was on my phone, and I started reading that. Oh, my friend called me. Cassandra calls me because she lives right by the police station, and she's like, hey, yeah, we've been awake since 5 a.m. The chopper's been out. Something happened. There was a disturbance call, and apparently like the guy ran off. He had a gun, and he shot a cop. So apparently the cop got shot on his butt, like his left butt cheek.
Oh, nice.
And then the guy got away, and he was like hiding in some random apartment, and then like maintenance found him, and they called the cops, and unfortunately he committed suicide, which honestly, like this incident, it hit close to home because something similar happened to someone that I know, and it was like the same like same scenario, disturbance call. And they had a gun, and police chased them, and this time like cops like shot him and killed him, but this guy took his life. Like I can't imagine how he was feeling having to take his life. He probably thought he killed the cop, and he didn't kill the cop, and he probably thought he did, and like who knows what was going through his mind. And I feel bad for his girlfriend, his baby mama, that she called the cops, and she probably needed help or something. Who knows what they were arguing about. I think the report said something about like she got home late, and like they were arguing about that. So whatever it was, like compared to what it became, it really goes to show how like one decision can lead up to so many.
That's so hard.
So many fucked up things, and
but we don't know his mental state
exactly
either, because regardless of it, like in you saying about like knowing a situation like that, like a lot of times it has to do with where we are mentally, because and it could be any situation
exactly,
and take it skyrocket like that, and it really just shows us how important it is for us to take care of our mental health. Like a lot of times, like it's like our image and how we want, or I'm speaking for myself, like want to be like on the thinner side or this and that, and like thankfully I no longer feel that way now. It's much more important to be more like mentally stable, because like this shows you like in times like that, or even when you're upset and stuff, like you shouldn't respond to someone because you're not going to say the things that you really feel. Imagine like having like a harmful like arma, like arm, and then on top of that being able to like have like a bad mental statement. I don't know, it just trips me out.
When they were driving us to Otay, there was a big sign that said Hospital de Salud Mental. Like
Oh.
it was a regular street sign. You know how like the street signs, they're like green?
Yeah.
That's how it was. It was like a green sign that said Hospital de Salud Mental, and it had an arrow, and I was like, wow, like you
don't
never see that here.
and we should. We need to normalize it.
Definitely. So rest in peace to this man, and you know, I'm glad the police officer didn't die, and
So why did he shoot the cop? Do you know that?
I don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know.
And why was
So,
the
I
cop
mean-
there? Because the girl called.
Yeah, so it says right here.
So
Do you want me to read it?
yeah, go ahead.
So, okay, so the incident began shortly after 2:45 a.m. when Rosa's girlfriend called the police. She said they had argued and Rosa shoved her out of the way as he left their apartment on Morning View Drive, south of El Norte Drive. He took off in her blue Volkswagen sedan. She said he had a semi-rifle, automatic rifle, possibly an AR-15 with him. Within roughly 15 minutes, about 3 a.m., two officers came upon the blue Volkswagen stopped in the middle of a cul-de-sac near where Morning View ends in Lincoln Avenue. The spot is about a quarter mile south of the couple's apartment. The driver was still inside the car. The sergeant drove into the cul-de-sac, made a U-turn, and came up behind the blue car. He wedged his SUV between the curb and the passenger side of the car. The other officer pulled in front of the car, nose to nose.
That's not an SUV.
No, it said it was a Volkswagen.
Oh, sedan, yeah.
The driver, Rosas, jumped out and fired and shot. The police SUV wedged behind his car. Murphy said the bullet pierced through the SUV door and struck through the sergeant, who was still seated behind the wheel. It was very fast for Murphy said. It happened so fast they didn't have time to pull out their weapon. It was that fast. The man, rifle in hand, and ran south towards nearby the State Route 75.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of what you get out of this, man, it's when you have heated arguments with your spouse and you're somebody that you love, it does get really heated. And not to put blame or anything like that, but you know, I think sometimes if somebody has left your house already, man, just let them go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no need for you to call the police. There's no need for, like, if your woman leaves and they're just like, I need to get the fuck out of this toxic shit right now, like, let them go. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, like, if something's gonna happen to them, something's gonna happen to them. But I think this was something that happened because of the fact that he was probably already in a bad moment, in the bad fucking, just had a bad thing going on with his girlfriend. Like they had just an argument. He was already, super heated, and then he left and went to go chill out and hang out in a zone where he could just maybe fucking recuperate. And then here comes these two cop cars pulling in. And he's probably already thinking like, fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So he was either like, it's either death or now, and you have that, you don't have that mentality. You don't have that space right now. You're already like so much, everything's going on so fast. And like you said, like the cops pulled up 15 minutes, within the time that he left that house. So in 15 minutes, you don't have time to recuperate yourself, recuperate your thoughts, and anything really that could happen is just right there. You can just grab it. And if anything's in the car or whatever, but, I think it was just he could have probably just ended up waking up the next day and probably just fell asleep right there, or called some other friends and probably went to another house, and he's probably trying to situate himself something else. And the series of misfortunate events that the girlfriend had to call the cops. Why? Did she get hit? No. She got pushed out of the way? Okay, I understand that. But he's gone, and there's no harm that's going to be done to you right now. Yeah, so, I mean, were you physically hurt? And I don't think there's a need for you to call the cops and be like, hey, this is, like, he has a gun. Like, because that means, like, they're going to go and fucking find him. Like, that's another thing. You know what I mean? When you tell the police officer.
Don't like, call the cops.
You're gonna,
especially
and you
if
tell
you
him
feel that they're going through mental issues. Don't call the cops.
And it's just going to
go. They're not the people to call.
Yeah, because they're not situated for that type of thing. So whatever happens from there on, it kind of, it's a series of unfortunate events, I think, that happened. And like he said, like, he probably thought he killed that cop. He went into an even darker hole where he just fucking ran and didn't know what the fuck was going on. There's nowhere to turn. And imagine, like, how you feel. That like, you're done. So
My heart goes out to his family, his kids, his partner. I know I saw that they were having like a fundraiser for his family, to try to help out for funeral expenses and just make the burden a little bit easier for the family that lost.
And I mean, this is our people. Like everybody is our human person. Like there's just things that we don't understand about everybody, and there's different things that happen, and we just have to be able to like understand everybody and know that everybody's not going through the same thing that we are, and it probably doesn't have it as easy as everybody else.
Yeah.
So
and it's a hard time right now, and people are
there's stress,
fighting silent battles,
money, everything's like So please, stay with that. Like you guys take it with a little grain of salt. Like be as humble as you can. Love each other. Think of positive things. If something's happening in your life that you feel that there's too much negativity, just fucking run away from it, and like keep it pushing somewhere else. Like stay away from that because, like little things like that can escalate. Maybe end up in a worse situation than.
Also, don't be the asshole that talks shit on the internet. I read some really fucked up things that people were saying. I'm not gonna repeat them, but it's just fucked up. Like people go on the internet and say dumb things, and it's like, at the end of the day, that was someone's dad, that was someone's brother, that was someone loved, and he made a mistake, and he felt like he needed to pay for that mistake with his life, and I don't know that I respect that.
That's the whole same, man. All right, girls. So a little bit on the more uplifting type of thing that
can we show the video of the lady?
Oh, the lady. Okay, that's.
Oh my gosh! So more than once, I've seen dumbasses cross the street with their face glued to their phone, crossing a busy intersection with no stop signs, no street lights. They're just crossing the street. This is a perfect example of a really crazy intersection in Escondido. People just be driving past fucking red lights. This car ran a red light. They were probably on their phone because how else would you not be paying attention to the road?
Being reckless and you don't give a fuck. Fuck it, I can make it.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
So this lady saved her life and her baby's life. This was in Escondido over on 9th and Quince. Short story. I know someone who knows someone that lives there in that area, and they crossed the street. Well, the dad of the house, he crossed the street and he got hit by a car, and he was paid out like $100,000. He wasn't using the stoplight, and now this man still crosses that street, but now he uses the stoplight. But still, this lady used the stoplight.
Yeah. Check it out. So let's see it.
Yeah, just watch. The story speaks for it. The video speaks for itself. So you see the lady in the corner. She's about to cross. She's got her baby in the stroller. That's an ambulance. That's an ambulance that's driving away, and a car comes and just rams onto the ambulance, and you can see the lady pull her child.
But she's already like walking.
She's already on the street. Look at her. Like that was.
She just saw him.
That was a millisecond. Like literally a millisecond. That could have ended so tragically.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dog that she was pulling. She had to pull it.
I think it's really weird that this wasn't viral as much as it should have been. I just randomly came across it on Escondido Friends. People share the randomest shit on there, and I thought this was something worthy of sharing, just to remind you guys to be cautious. Like if this lady was on her phone crossing, imagine.
Done.
She would have died.
Yeah, her kid would have gone first.
Imagine, her kid would have gone flying. Like, that would have been insane. Or if she's
walking a dog.
The only good thing about this is that there was an ambulance on site.
Oh,
well, I mean, crushed.
Yeah, big kudos. It was on site. And then big kudos. I did read that the ambulance driver was, got up and helped out the driver and helped out. That's dope. People that were hurt, or checked in on everybody. So I mean, it's just it's part of these people are heroes. People are like in these types of services and jobs. Police officers, firefighters, ambulances. They risk their life for all of us. No matter what, without even knowing us, no matter what color our skin, no matter what anything you are. So I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes it does feel like we're like a little detached from them, but that's because we as a society don't get to know them, and we don't go out there and support and like be like, hey, okay, let's go meet the firefighters, let's go meet the police officers in our community. How much more safer would you feel if you like knew an officer in your community and you were like, like that's officer the so and so, like, or what if we have like a day to meet all the
honestly,
officers?
It's a good feeling.
Because you feel more safe, you feel more connected
on Gamble,
to people.
we have our neighborhood group, and so the cops would like come to our events sometimes, and it feels nice to know them, like, and they're not just some fucking pesky porker.
They're not there to like harass you, know, and it's part of being in a community. So I think that's one of the things that we should focus on this year is maybe getting closer in touch with our men and women of law enforcement to like know, so they know that we are also on their side, and we also we do have problems, but we also do understand that they are human and that they also have problems, because everything that we're going through, they're also feeling it too, and if they are feeling it, they're probably feeling it 100 times more, because it's their sole responsibility of like taking care of everybody in Escondido. So good kudos to that. Like awesome that like that lady was able to save her kid and pull that out, and and it's just staying vigilant. And sometimes it is that sixth sense that comes out of our heads, like it's that little thing that mother instinct. So and I see we see a lot of drivers. I've done it before. I've sped through like yellow lights and red lights to catch them, and so it's just being mindful of everything that's going on around you, just and being mindful of everybody around you too.
Yeah. So I'm constantly looking at my rear view mirror, my side mirrors, always.
And then one of the things that I do is like I straight jump on the green. So like like when the green turns, it like boom, and that's what happens. So if you're not careful, that last minute driver that's fucking zooming right through the intersection, he's gonna T-bone you. So there's been times when I like haven't gone right ahead and boom, you're like pasa un cabrón en chinguiza. So let's be more mindful of that.
And also on like one-way streets too, like be careful.
Yes.
My mom, I always told my mom when I was little, like, why do you look both ways? Yeah. It's a one-way street. Why do you look both ways? And she's like, because you never know. Some fucking idiot could be coming the other way.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I probably would have been that idiot if I never mentioned that.
See, so now you know. So, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in Texas. I know you guys are going through a really hard time. Well, a lot of people are, not everyone, but a lot of people in Texas, they dealt with that snowstorm. Did you guys see the pictures though? Like the temperature pictures, like when they show you in the news, it's literally like purple down all of the center of
and did you guys see how the snow didn't burn?
Yeah.
Ooh,
see, I'm on Twitter, and I literally follow like half and half. Half of the non-believers and half of the people that are like I follow both because I need to know what both parties are thinking so I can make up an assumption myself. Like you can't just listen to one. So
you're telling me that the snow is not melting, and so
it smells
looks like
bad
they're doing
when you burn it.
It looks like they're doing the same experiment as when the hot Cheetos experiment where they're lighting it up.
And it reminds me of that.
That's what it reminds you. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's different particles in the air now, obviously. Like when there's more minerals in the water. There's more plastic in our water. If you really think about it, our oceans are... our fishes are being found with tons of plastic in their stomach. And I'm not talking about, you found a bottle cap. No, you're finding these little things of plastic. Because they just chew on them. Because they just chew on them, they digest them. So who's not to say that all that plastic is breaking down and being able to be carried on in our condensity of our water, and it's being pulled up with it and, being dropped down.
Or it's like when you leave a water bottle in your car and they say not to drink it because it has all those minerals. It's the same thing. All that plastic, it's sitting in the ocean, which is water, and the sun's like hitting it and it's just going into the ocean. All those little chemicals are just flying in our ocean, and our fish are eating it, and we eat the fish. So it's the cycle of the new life.
Yeah.
It's the circle.
But I will say I have a total of 4 people that just recently moved to Texas. One lady actually just arrived today, and
did she say she's moving back?
No, she bought a bomb ass house. Like, she had a big old house. But the 4 people I know, one of them is a little bit like young, like me. Well, young.
You're still
Girl,
young.
you
know what
got
I
Trust
mean.
me, I have
You know what
lady
I
friends
mean.
that are 70,
Yeah, me
60,
too.
and
Me
50.
too.
And yeah.
Same,
and when I
same.
say, oh, I'm getting, they fucking
Oh, I know.
look at
Same,
me.
same, same here. It's like very disrespectful.
Yeah.
But still, okay. So like one of them that's like young like me. She's like, she wrote on her thing. She's like, Callie would never. And I just like, I thought that was like hilarious.
Yeah.
but
What do you
no,
mean Kelly would never
Like Kelly would never
Like snow.
no, not just that. Callie would never
do me like this?
be
Or-
without power, because she was without power for like three days, and she was using this camp. She was actually pretty smart. She used a camp tent, and then
In her living room?
and then that's how they stayed like in there, and it was just like perfect, and that was pretty smart of her.
Yeah, a lot of people were doing that.
Yeah, and I just thought I was like, oh, that's so cool. But she's young, you know.
tent.
So
Okay,
imagine being like, honestly, they're saying that something like that's coming towards California. I don't know if you guys have read about
Brace
that. But like,
yourselves.
yeah, to brace ourselves, because something in Cali is
Dude,
coming.
well, how
and
the
you-
fuck? It's been cold as
We
shit,
can't
dude. I
be-
can't even
nah,
work in here. I
you
can't even work in my garage, dude.
cannot.
'cause
During
it's
the
fucking
day, it
cold.
was warm.
No, it's warm, but it's cold as night.
But you
Like,
can't
it's
fuss. Like,
But you
imagine
can
being
walk
like them.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
fuck
no.
that, dude. I would move.
Over there,
I
it was
would-
like what
I would-
in the negatives, and it's
I would
Texas.
dump
That shit
California.
doesn't
And
happen.
even in
would
your
dump
own
California.
house,
Yeah,
you
people
were
fucking froze to death.
People
dude.
died.
A 11-year-old
Yep,
little boy died, and the family's suing the
the electric company. Yep,
Yeah,
yep, for turning off their power or whatever,
Yeah.
or I don't know. So
11 years old.
that's crazy. So there's a spike in electricity, and for our friends in Texas, it looks like their
Yeah.
bill for people that were affected by this, and actually that
Wow.
their electricity was stayed on. They actually, it says Texas, deregulated electricity grid triggered mass outages that left residents in nation's second largest state trapped without heat for days in freezing homes. So, several people died, like it says, including a 70-year-old woman and her 3 young grandchildren in a suburban Houston house fire sparked by the fireplace. So it's like,
And a lot of people died from carbon monoxide poisoning
so
from being in their cars and
trying to warm up.
to stay
oh
warm.
my god! So look at that. So that's insane. So I mean, imagine. And this is where we need to start looking at where we place our money, because we are the consumers and we are the ones that we have to remember. Like, man, these companies don't fucking back us up for anything,
And
So
we
like
need
in
them.
a time of crisis, when people actually fucking need you, electricity, has gone up and it's spiked massive bills, for like up to like $17,000. They said that they received a phone call from the electric company a day prior, warning them that their bill was going to go up to like 300%, and that they needed to find, if they didn't want to pay those fees, that they had to find another provider. So imagine SDG&E calling you like, hey guys, you're due to the wildfires, like our electricity is going to go up like 300% because we're going to provide electricity just for you, and then because we're going to keep you running for your household. So, and if you don't like it, go find another service provider or go solar.
You have 5 hours.
So you have 5 hours, or you have so it's just like
Wow.
insane. So people were looking for other ways to get electricity, but they couldn't because there was no other companies fucking providing it, because they knew that how much it was going to cost them to be able to produce that shit.
And they were saying
But
that
it's like-
hotels were like $900 per one room or
Yeah,
something like that.
and that's what I'm saying. It's everybody
That's
takes advantage
insane.
of everything. Like everybody takes advantage of like the most vulnerability. Like, instead of like coming together and being like, hey, we're gonna help you. Hey, electricity is gonna spike up, but we're gonna try to get it to as much people as we can. We need people to go huddle up in heated areas. Try to get into like bigger arenas so we could just transfer electricity to all these places.
It seems
instead
like
of
a
coming up with a
cash
plan.
grab at
Yeah,
this point.
no, and that's what it is. If you understand these companies, that's what they're doing right now. It's like, just as much as they can fucking grab from the most
just trying
vulnerable
to
people,
squeeze
and they're
you
just
for your
squeezing and
last
squeezing.
penny.
Like they're talking about like this old man, like fucking his retirement savings fucking have to go to fucking electricity. Why? Because he had to stay fucking alive for a week and a half. You know what I mean? It's like, it's insane. So, I mean, we definitely have to start seeing where we're spending our money and where we're putting it in, and what are these companies backing us up? Like, there's all these companies take shortcuts and they get approved by the government, approved by Senate,
They get
approved,
loans.
and they get loans and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, they don't care about the fucking consumer. They don't care about the people that's actually feeding their kids and feeding everything that's going on into their system. So we have to be able to remember this shit and take charge and take control of this shit and be like, hey, you know what? We're not going to fucking withstand you. If you don't, then we're not going to fucking give you guys business, and you guys better fucking change the way you guys think.
This is why Nikolai Tesla died, because he wanted us to have free electricity.
But, you know, like, it's these people taking shortcuts. You know, the power lines didn't withstand. Things froze because their stuff is not up to date. It's not our fault that your stuff's not up to date.
But that's why you don't pay federal taxes in Texas. That's why it's so cheap to be there, because they have problems like this. I saw a video of like the border of Kansas and Texas, and it was like the border of Kansas, the snow was plowed, and the Texas side was not, because Texans don't believe in like they don't believe in like taking care of their state. Pretty much, they're like they were a Republican state. I think they turned last year, but they were a Republican state. And when Kansas bought the snow plows, the Texas representatives pretty much laughed at them and thought they were stupid for buying snow plows. Guess who had plowed streets and was able to drive? Kansas, not Texas. Literally, the photo of Kansas plowed and Texas was not.
But why do we do this? Why do we have to do this?
And fucking Ted Cruz went to Cancun.
Oh, okay, hold on.
And now they have piñatas of him.
No.
Hell yeah.
Good. Fuck
dude, there
that
was
fool.
Okay. We're getting
and then
ahead of
según, like, he was there for his daughters. Their daughters wanted to go there. And they're like 12 and 13.
Petty as fuck.
I was thinking, maybe they're 16. You know, they've had a rough couple of months in Texas, because
even so.
But even then,
no, petty as fuck,
dude.
There was a mariachi waiting for him outside of his house playing mariachi.
They played mariachi at his house for hours
to troll his ass, dude.
And he left his dog
they
home.
Received him. That's how
there's
they
like little
him
pictures of his little
that's so
poodle.
That's so
he left his dog home.
Oh my
fucking
God.
Asshole.
So
Wow,
in good news, guys, enough about all this people and money grab and everything, but somebody that was not thinking about money and was not thinking about anything else but helping their fellow citizens and actually all the people in need and stuff was this man right here, man. He rescued over 500 people from the icy Texas roads. And all these stories are coming, guys, from the Washington Post. It's I follow them on Instagram, so like they could come up with a couple of cool stories, and they're always kind of up to date, and it's like a lot of fact checks. So if you guys want to check out these stories, you guys can always go to thewashingtonpost.com, and you guys can see them right here. So yeah, so this guy, super awesome guy, man. He has a 4x4 truck, 4-door. This guy.
Those cars are pretty cool. I've been in one of them.
He said he was out in the roads. He said all of a sudden all these cars started getting stuck around him. He said he had equipment in the back of his truck. He's like, I got, pull rope. I got chains. I got stuff to, So he said, started pulling cars out of the road. He said, started grabbing cars, like hanging them on. He said he would drive them for miles, or some of them, he would just drive them all the way home. And he said that, like there was a testimony of a girl that, she's like, I was stuck in my car. I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. And, next thing I know, I hear somebody, knocking on my window saying, you're next. And, you're next and you're next. And she's like, then the guy drove me home. The guy, connected his truck to my car and, plowed me all the way, or until the roads were safe for them to drive and not icy anymore. So this guy just not thinking, just being a selfless person, just thinking like, you know what? I got a car. I got a 4x4. I love off-roading, because that's what they tell you. He's like, I love off-roading. That's my passion. So he's like, he goes out and he starts, bringing all these people in, but he doesn't just stop there. He started taking paramedics to places where they needed to go, picking up people from hospitals and taking them home. Being able to pick up, I think he picked up some elderly and went to go, drop them off from her house to the other, to her daughter's house, and still was able to pick up some medication on the way there. So it's just like all these things that this guy just started from a situation that was a dire situation where people were stuck, stranded, could have possibly died. And this guy was just, just selflessly working, talks about like 12 hours a day, like 15 hours a day, like waking up, from 7 a.m. all the way till 12 at midnight, that he was getting phone calls. Wow. And he talks about how he's getting blown up with like thousands of text, like, hundreds of text messages like throughout the day, because he started giving out his phone number. So then people started saying, oh, well, this guy can help you. Well, this guy can help you. So like all of a sudden he's got like hundreds of fucking text messages blowing up this guy's phone. So he said that people started asking like if they could help, what they can do to volunteers. So he started passing out, phone numbers of other people that could call. So he started referring people that needed help to other drivers that also wanted to help. And people were just paying by, like feeding these guys and, giving them money to, for their truck to pull up. He said that he had to fill up his diesel truck like 3 times, like in one day, from so much driving around and everything. So, it's just, it just shows that in times of dire need, there's people that are always going to take advantage, but then there's also people that are going to help out. And then there is a good to us people, to us humans, that we have to be good to each other. Because in times like this, when it's like COVID, when it's storms, when it's pandemics, anything that is going on wrong, like we have to be there for each other, for one another, and be able to help each other out, because that's the light that we're going to shine into other people and show them that there is good. He talks about he's been down, he's had a rough couple of past months. The guy wasn't down, he was probably like going through a rough patch in his life, and he was probably feeling unuseful. I think he said that he had some surgery in his body or something, so he wasn't able to walk really good. So like, he's just been living and just feeling useless. So he's like, it was super awesome to feel useful again and be able to help out all these people in this time. So it's like up to 500 people that he got unstuck and able to take them home and able to drive them out. Like that's an uplifting story. And I think that's the type of people that we need to be able to be in our community. And and it doesn't necessarily start with having a truck. It just necessarily starts with just just listening to somebody, or giving them advice, or like taking somebody home, and like when they can't drive. Stuff like that you can change people's lives with just the little action that you do, and you can change the course of other people's life too, because like how much more grateful are those other people. Now they know that it doesn't really necessarily take for somebody to be famous to help out, somebody to be whatever. You can have the most humblest person that's down, out of their needs or up on their luck, and can be there to help you out. So I mean, that's a pretty cool story. I definitely dig this, and kudos to him, man. Kudos to him.
He definitely was a guardian angel to a lot of people this past week.
I think his name's Ryan Siveli. He's
Where
40. Estimated he rescued about 500 people stuck in Austin roads in a storm. Seen here is one of his vehicles.
He deserves a Medal of Honor or something, some sort of recognition.
Look at one of his off-road vehicles. Pickup truck contains hooks, chains, and recovery tow straps, which can pull more than 40,000 pounds.
Wow.
So check it out. And then, so this is his truck right here. This is the truck that he was moving around.
Damn.
So I mean, like, that's a bad boy right there, So
it's like a semi.
Yeah, white 2010 Chevrolet Silverado. He calls
Silverado
the beast.
needs to cut him a check.
Yeah, he's the beast,
For real.
right here. So he helped out a lot of people, and and that's awesome, man. Look at these roads; they're super icy, and imagine being stuck there. It's your first time that you've ever experienced anything.
The pileup that happened a couple weeks ago in Fort Worth, Texas, and so many people died.
He says, look, he gets over 300 text messages per day. He said, that's insane. So
God, I would lose my mind.
but imagine it, like you would lose your mind, but it's like for a couple of days, a week and a half, 2 weeks that people need help. It's like
from what it seems like, he was losing his mind, and this kind of gave him purpose.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, expecting
and it
anything,
feels
so.
good to help. Because
Yeah.
obviously he continued doing that for 500 other people.
Yeah, maybe he found his purpose. Maybe he's gonna open up an emergency roadside assistance
That
company.
would be great. Especially if it's his passion.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, right here. So he lost his electricity and oh wait, let me see. Where's the other one?
I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it was not me.
Not it.
Not it.
Oh my god, basic sir.
What was that
So,
thing
yeah.
that you would when you were little? You had to put like your thumb on your forehead
Oh, if you
if you didn't fart. No,
no, I
something
don't-
like that.
No.
Oh,
when
like
you-
not it,
you're-
like not it,
Yeah,
like
you go
whoever
like
like
this.
not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
like
didn't know
whoever-
that one.
I
Or
don't know.
what was it? Like if your ears were red.
Oh
or
yeah, if your
hot.
ears were
Oh,
red.
if your
you
ears were
farted?
yeah, because you
Nah,
farted.
bitch, I just get hot.
They're growing.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So, yeah,
On a lighter note and on some great news, Escondido's getting a skate park.
Oh yes, for all our younger kids and generation.
Washington Park. They have a pool there, and they're gonna have a skate park there.
Wow. And I
Um,
promise you, I just told Edwin that because what I want for my birthday, and it's one of those skateboards, like the new ones that they have, like with the little curve. I don't know what it's called.
The longboards.
It's a longboard, but it's with the curve. It's the new version of like the regular skateboard. So when you're moving, it like moves
Yeah.
more with you.
Totally.
But
or a
it-
penny board.
I think it's probably that.
The
but-
smaller
Oh,
one.
the penny
Yeah.
boards.
Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
penny
Jazzy
I
board.
think
wants a
that
penny
looks.
board, too.
Yeah, I want one of those.
That's cool.
And then you're telling me about this? Fuck yeah.
So it says Washington Park skate spot scheduled to go into bid in February. Oh, I wonder if my aunt they're gonna bid on it, cause they do stuff like that at their company. I'm sure
Oh,
they
they
would
bid on
work.
like on works and
They
stuff.
have
like that.
a
That's cool.
concrete and steel, so that's pretty much what skate parks are, right?
Mhm.
Concrete
Yeah,
and
yeah,
steel.
so-
It says
Perfect.
with the design of the skate spot complete, the construction of this project is scheduled to go on bid this month, and the staff anticipate awarding the construction contract in late March. Bearing any weather delays, construction will take approximately 4 to 5 months, with the skate spot opening this summer. Ooh, project update. Originally, this project consisted of two components: a 7,000 square foot skate spot and a new parking lot. Staff's hope was to combine the two projects, and that would result in cost savings from economies of scale in design and construction. But unfortunately, after multiple design revisions, the parking lot continues to come in at about $250,000 over budget. Holy shit.
Damn.
In order to not delay the construction of the skate spot any further, the parking lot components has been put on hold. Staff will continue to monitor the parking situation, and if it is found that additional parking is required in the future, we will seek to identify the remaining funding needed. Engineering and police staff have determined that 5 on-street parking spots along Rose Avenue can be created by removing some of the red curb. This will help to offset any increase in the parking resulting from the skate park. The design of the skate spot is based on input from various skate holders, including city staff, skate park professionals, skate park users, and other surrounding communities. Multiple skate spot designs workshops were held over several months. This provided the community with the opportunity to engage with the consultant and take part in the planning and design of the space. The proposed skate park will provide a safe, designated place for riders to develop their skills and enjoy the company of their peers. It will be a state-of-the-art facility based on the latest skate park design principles, featuring street and transition style terrain, and include elements designed for all age groups and ability levels. Washington Skate Park Spot is a beautifully designed skate park spot that truly represents the culture and character of our community. That's so cool. I love the skate community.
¿Y los cholos ya los van a quitar de allí?
Well,
No,
you know,
pues, wow.
there's going to be cholo skaters now.
Oh,
Who says the
there's
cholos
cholos
can't
What's
skate?
up?
Oh, I
What's
seen Cholo
up,
skate.
G's? Where you
Hey,
at?
you skate, fool?
You skate,
Yeah.
fool. You
Hey,
skate.
you skate?
Hey, let me get that skateboard, fool.
Let
You
me
better
get
give me that skateboard. I'm just no,
But that's really cool.
It is really
I'm
cool.
so
Yay,
happy
Escondido.
that's gonna bring so much attention to Escondido. I know a lot of people that tell me
Dude,
I
Vista has
meet
like
people-
4 skate parks.
I meet people. They tell me, "Oh, I used to skate in Esco. Like that's where I would go to Escondido for to go skate. We used to skate Kit Carson Park, or we used to skate
That's
Rincon.
it.
A lot of
Yeah.
people come to
Oh,
skate
yeah,
Rincon.
to skate Rincon. It has this big
So
ass
that's
steps.
cool that we
Rincon's sick as
officially
fuck.
have a skate park. That's dope.
And it shows you that no matter what, we have to keep going with like this whole thing. Like I was telling you guys about that that one event at my salon suite that I was telling them, and they're like, "Oh, well, COVID this." I'm like, you know what?
We have
This
to keep
whole
going.
thing,
Yeah.
like,
It's never
let's
gonna go away.
Let's go. Like,
Yep.
we still have to pay rent, right? I mean, until you cancel my rent and all my bills, then hell yeah, we can use the COVID excuse. Other than that, we gotta hustle.
Yes, it is. That's
So,
very true.
Yeah.
Very true. V.
Good.
Very
I'm so
true.
excited for Escondido.
Yes. So it says, additionally, the staff identified the following parks for potential future skate facilities: Jasmine Dean, Mountain View Park, and Westside Park spot.
Jasmine Dean would have been amazing.
What's up, Park? I'm just kidding.
Oh no, we're not posting that. Please, we don't need that attention on this podcast.
Westside Park. It's the park.
Moving on.
Can we edit that?
Yeah, we're not posting that.
Disclaimer: we are not cholos.
Disclaimer: we do not associate with East
Anybody.
or West.
We don't associate with anybody.
I just
No,
live here,
remember-
man. I just live
I
here.
remember I was like, where you from, fool? From MMP. What is that? My mama's pussy.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. George really took it back to 15.
That was 15. That was straight 15. Where
Yeah.
you from, bro?
My mama's pussy.
My mama's pussy.
All right, guys. That sounds
Oh
like
my
the
God.
other side.
So disclaimer, guys, like we said, we're not cholos, so we don't
No,
associate.
we don't bang.
But I would love to hang out in any part of the city that I would like to have a skate park. So make sure that you guys build skate parks all around the city. Because Vista has, they have them everywhere. I seen Vista has like 4 or 5.
And Carlsbad District.
Carlsbad has some, and Poway has some. So
Yeah, we need
it's
to
cool.
we need to
Bring it
give
up.
the kids something. You know, we need to build more for the
No,
kids.
something, yes, for them to like entice them to be outside, not on their fucking phone all the time. So thank you guys for listening. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for
Uh,
tuning
Bless.
in.
Systems in place. Ladies, you guys were awesome today. And
We out.
We out. Thank you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Peace out.
Bye.